Today I'm meeting Steve Lowy of the residents at their service departments in Hoxton. We're going to discuss what they've done to ensure business travellers can stay with complete peace of mind. We're talking about the measures and procedures that they've put in place and how day-to-day operations differ in these unusual times.
So how have you adapted to meet the challenges posed by coronavirus?
Obviously what's been very challenging is that every country is dealing with it slightly differently, but a lot of it is really about keeping our staff and our customers safe. The guidance is quite broad. We've just kept up to date and in touch with both government bodies but also our health and safety company to make sure that we're doing what we should be doing. We work with a company called Common Sense Compliance, or CSC. Through this crisis, CSC have been really good at keeping us up to date of what's the current trends in terms of how people deal with things, and also because they understand our business, how that fits into how we work. Because again, some of the guidance is so broad, what works for a hotel doesn't necessarily work for an apartment.
So what sorts of measures do you put in place when a guest checks in?
Well, we've had an interesting period of time because we actually had people check in through lockdown, and we've very much worked with both the agents like yourselves but also with the customers directly as to how they want that check-in to be. If it's meet and greet, it is a distance-based meet and greet, or if they want and don't want contact with people, we will leave either a code to access the keys, and when they get into the apartment, all the information that they need, or like in this building, we have a reception area and they will pick up a welcome pack from there and then deal with that. We deep clean everything with the appropriate cleaning materials, hot washing all the linen, and really making sure, most importantly, all the surfaces are wiped down, particularly high contact areas like door handles, even in bathrooms. If they're in quarantine, we do a linen drop halfway through their stay and all the cleaning materials that's left outside their door. Same with collecting rubbish, we give them the days that will come and collect it. What we noticed is once lockdown rules were relaxed and cleaning was back offered to our customers, they all wanted cleaning, but they all wanted it in slightly different ways. Our service, our brand has always been about flexibility. We do what the customer wants or the agent requires. And I think that's what we've had to do throughout the whole process because we've all felt this differently, and I think it's sticking to the rules but giving that option for flexibility.
So whilst the measures you put in place help with the physical well-being of the travellers, have you done anything differently to add to the experience of the stay?
Well, we've talked more about our public area spaces in terms of both roof terraces, which we have in a couple of the buildings, but also balconies. Again, something that was less important, very important now. One of the requests we've had from some corporates is to make sure that there's a work desk and a work table and chairs and the right facilities for that, depending on what job they're doing. Or, some are like, I don't want that, I just want to work off the kitchen table because that's what I was doing back home. So again, very much about our flexibility to make sure that people feel as comfortable as possible.
So how have you managed the communal areas within the building?
Again, following the guidance and the guidelines out there, the gyms in 2 of our buildings are open, shared communal spaces. Here we have a cinema as well, spaced out as a normal cinema would be, and again with the gyms appropriately spaced out. Again, hand sanitizer is available, and we encourage people to bring their own towels, their own water. Keeping it clean all day long is also really important.
So what sort of information are you providing to guests? Is there any signs on display?
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of government posters that are updated regularly, and I think using those and the CSC advice that we get, ultimately it's washing your hands, trying not to touch surfaces, and having those dotted around at points at which they may be touching things, to make sure that they're keeping themselves safe and clean. It's also a reminder to staff or even contractors coming in. What we've also done is make sure we keep in touch with the people in-house. So they've got each sort of local manager's email address. Obviously the housekeepers will come in once a week, either they will be present or not. And also dealing with agents like yourself to make sure everything is okay, both pre-stay, during, and even afterwards if there's feedback of how we can make it more comfortable for that customer when they're with us.
Thank you very much for your time today. We really appreciate your insights.
It's a pleasure.